Welcome back to another Wuthering Waves video. In today's video, we're going to be going over Mortefi, the pistol fusion wielder. We're going to be going over his full kit, his mechanics, his skills, his auto attacks, and his ultimate attack. We're going to be breaking it down in this video so you guys could understand exactly how Mortefi works. So without further ado, let's just go straight into the Wuthering Forte skill tree so I can explain exactly how this unit works. He's a very similar to Chisia. They have slight differences, but I'm going to explain to you guys what is the difference between them because they are a little bit different, even though they kind of have like similarities, right? So I want you to pay attention also to the resonance chain at the bottom. We have it filled up and we have it with the letter E. Basically, it's a resonance chain ability that you can use. So basically, that whole resonance chain is called Dragon's Breath. You fill it up to 100. Once it gets to 100, you will activate an ability called Irritation. Now, what happens is when you use this ability and you use E, which is his skill, I'm going to be showing you guys the difference. So when you have this at full max at 100 and you use his E ability, he does a big area damage flame tornado thing, right? There's a big area of it that he does damage it. And if you don't have it filled up, if it's lower, it's a lot smaller, right? So you definitely want to have this maxed so you could get the most area of damage when you're DPSing or if there's a lot of enemies on the field, right? So we're going to go over the auto attacks. Now, we don't have a visual here, but what I can tell you is it's literally 4 auto attacks. You click 4 times. On the 4th one, he does a big fusion damage attack. And if you dodge and you counter it with an attack, it will do some fusion damage as well. It's very easy, very simple. You can do a heavy attack by charging, hitting an opponent. You can do a mid-air attack, which I never recommend with gun users. And I think that's pretty much it for the auto attacks. Now let's go over the skill. The skill, I already told you, basically he summons a dragon with his lighter and does some fusion damage on top of that. Depending on the size of it, depends on your resonance chain. Depends if it's filled or not, will depend on the size, right? And his ultimate attack, which I personally love. This is why I'm like super excited to talk about him. His ultimate attack, basically called Violent Finale, is basically he uses his lighter, does this crazy big AoE flame damage attack, and there's a little dragon shard or something on top of him that as you're DPSing, it continuously starts hitting with fusion damage towards the enemy. Now, the crazy thing and the best part about this ability is that you can switch to another character and that ability will stay off field. He doesn't have to be on field for it. So it's basically just like passive damage on the field. You're doing that, those little fusion hits are hitting, and then you could go to your real DPS and start going crazy, you know? So he's a very, very valuable unit in my opinion when it comes to fusion damage. Now, let's go over his attacks really quick. So I want to go over a few things. Now, I'm going to go over the 4 auto attacks. You go 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, just to let you guys know, the first few are going to be like physical. I think the first 2 are physical, last 2 are fusion damage. So you go 1, 2, fusion, fusion, right? He does a big boom at the end. You could do the charge attack like this, right? You let that go, right? You could do the mid-air stuff, which I never recommend because I never think it's good. You know, I'm going to showcase to you guys exactly how does his Dragon Breath work from his resonance chain at the bottom. Now, we have his whole full resonance chain available, his Dragon's Breath Irritation ability. Now, remember that when you use your E ability, he's going to do a dragon's attack and it's going to be a big AoE. I'm going to show you the difference between the two. This is what happens when you use your E with the full resonance chain filled up to the max. It's going to look a lot bigger. You see that big AoE there in the front? Now, you could do your E again, but it's going to be a lot smaller. It's going to look like this. You see, it's like very single targeted instead of a whole area where you can hit a couple enemies at once. So let's just find some echoes so I could showcase exactly how these abilities work and how you could use them to your advantage. I found some echoes in front of us. I'm going to showcase you some auto attacks, the skill, the 2 skills specifically, one with irritation activated and one without irritation activated, and the ult so you can see how the passive actually activates when you're doing some attacks. So let's fight these guys in front of us right now so I can show you guys how to do this, right? So we're going to do the 4 autos. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So I believe the 3rd auto attack does The fusion damage, yeah. Now we have the resonance chain filled. I'm gonna show you guys how much damage we can actually do and how big of an AoE area of effect you can do with the dragon's breath. So look how much we do there. Nice. It hit them all there that time. And now watch. Without it completely filled, it does a small amount of damage and some passive there from those little shiny balls. Those shiny targets behind him are basically just like a passive sequence that you get. I don't know what sequence it is, but I believe if you're at sequence 0, that won't happen. Now that I found an enemy, an Echo, aka a car here, we have our ultimate, a resonance liberation attack almost completely filled. So I want to show you guys how it works and what happens exactly when you activate this ult, right? So let's just build it up a little bit more so we could fully use it. Okay, now he's gonna use his lighter, he's gonna slam it down. Dragon, right? And now you see this little shard. Now when you start attacking, these little things start popping up, and it starts doing passive fusion damage, right? And you could switch to another character and this will still be active for a bit. So it's a very, very useful ability to have. It's a really good off-field kind of support type of character to have on a team. And for endgame content, I could see this being very, very useful. So yeah, that's pretty much his resonance liberation attack. It's a lot of fun. It's really cool. He's a great character. He's one of my favorites right now. So he's such a cool character. So freaking cool. And there you guys have it. There goes the full breakdown of Mortefi. Let me know in the comments section if I missed anything. Let me know what character you want to see next in the comments below. Pretty much broke him down. He's not a very complicated unit to use. I feel like all gun users are kind of primarily feel the same. They have different abilities here and there, but they all kind of work the same because mid-air doesn't work as good attacks, or they can't plunge or they can't parry either. So yeah guys, like let me know what you think about Mortefi. Is he a character you're gonna use in the future? I don't know, but yeah, I appreciate you guys for watching the video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next one.